Make Me a Story, Teaching Writing Through Digital Storytelling by Lisa C. Miller.
This digital story was created by
Courtney Seth,
Anya Mead,
Heather Montgomery,
Emily Holland,
Danielle Willette,
Cameron Speranza. Why teach about digital storytelling? Students write about personal experiences and make up stories. For example, stories about superheroes, aliens, and adventuresome pets. The key to digital storytelling is to drive the story forward through answering questions and not just reporting facts. Why teach digital storytelling? Digital storytelling engages and empowers reluctant readers and writers, and it makes everyone want to write. For students who are already good writers, they are able to work on a new skill and challenge themselves. Visual learners have illustrations to help them build their stories. This allows all students to become in charge of their own stories. Digital storytelling projects can change how students see themselves and their classmates. This helps to build a community within the classroom. Weaker writers may gain confidence in their computer skills, while struggling readers may find stories more manageable because they are so short. Thinking about the audience is an important part of the process as well. This allows for more heartfelt narratives from the students. Digital storytelling projects do not have to be complicated to be effective. They are usually 3 minutes and shorter, have 4 to 5 pieces of art, and have visuals to scaffold the development of their stories. In all, the process is to the point. Digital storytelling projects teach writing and technology skills. Students use interesting and appropriate vocabulary. They gather and organize information, explain their stories for an audience, create and present something original, while applying what they know about computers, technology, and storytelling to design a new project.
How do writers tell digital stories? Writers for any media choose specific details that matter. Also, stories begin with interesting information that make you want to know more. Some elements of a digital story are the writer should have an interesting question to answer, a clear point of view, art that helps tell the story, and a soundtrack. Students also need time to complete stories depending on how quickly they get it done, how complicated, access to computers, and whether the student needs help to narrate. It is also important to teach students about fair use and copyright. Explain to students they can't always download someone else's work and use them in their projects. There are limits concerning how much materials can be used, but guidelines exempt K-6 students from closely following these limits. Teachers and students should know limits and follow them as much as possible. Some important limits include up to 3 minutes or 10%, whichever is less, of a single copyrighted motion media work. Also, up to 5 photographs or illustrations by one person, and no more than 15 images or 10%, whichever is less, of the photographs or illustrations from a single published work.
It is important to introduce the different steps that writers go through to create stories. It helps the students see themselves as writers, helps students get the writing done, and makes stories stronger than if students concentrated mostly on images instead of the writing. The writing process provided by Don Murray provides a coherent way to talk about how students can get from an idea to a finished draft, provides a way for thinking about writing in general that can serve these students well all through school and beyond. Students learn there are steps they can follow, practice, and improve upon, and offers students ways to experiment and find out what writing techniques works best for them. The first step is write before writing. This includes finding a subject, brainstorming, mapping, and other pre-writing activities, and asking questions about the subject. The next step is research for writing. This includes recollecting details about an experience, asking questions about a research subject, conducting research in a library and/or on the internet, interviewing others, and collecting images. Students then begin writing. This is finding a focus, beginning a draft, considering point of view and audience, and planning the story, which includes thinking about images that might go with the story. Next, students continue writing. This includes developing whole draft with a strong beginning and ending, transitions, concrete language, and interesting details. Putting together images, storyboarding to figure out what images go with what text, and splitting the written script into pieces to go with the images.
Finishing writing includes movie making, finding images, uploading the images, adding titles, adding special effects to the pictures and transitions between the pictures, recording narration, adding music, and the final revision. The more students work on the projects, the more they will understand the program as well as the project. The more time a student invests in the work, the more proud they will be of the work they have accomplished. With younger students, this may be more difficult, but try to let them work as much as possible. The more computers, the better. Having access to a computer lab is great. Laptops work well too. There should be enough computers for every student, that way no one is sitting around waiting. If you do not have enough computers, designate certain computers for certain jobs only. For example, one job only does uploading pictures, while another can only be used to find music. This way things will move faster. Before students can begin creating their stories, all artwork must be digitalized. All artwork must be on the computer, either scanned or from the internet. Before the students begin working on the program, the teacher must be familiar with the program. Giving a demonstration of the program to the students is always a good idea. This way the students are somewhat familiar with the program when they begin to use it. The students can add titles and effects to the pictures as well as text. Because this is still a story, transitions and movements are needed. Photo Story 3 has many different effects that can be used: fading, zooming, blackening, and etc. To conclude the students' accomplishments, it's showtime. Use a projector, smartboard, TV to play the finished pieces. Have family members, other students come to view and celebrate the finished pieces. Post the videos on YouTube or the school's website.